All right, so today's lesson is 11-2, which is percent of change. Now, I do have a video for you, but this one will not be for extra credit, okay? All right, so vocabulary. It says a percent of change is a ratio written as a percent which compares the change in quantity to the original amount. If the original amount is increased, then that's called a percent of increase. And of course, in the other direction, if the original is decreased, then it's a percent decrease. All right, so let's take a look at our first example. Example 1a says is percent of increase. Okay, now this of course tells you that it's an increase, but we're just going to look to see how this goes. It says a certain brand of shampoo contains 12 ounces in a bottle. The company decides to redesign the shape of the shampoo bottle. The new type of bottle contains 15 ounces of shampoo. What is the percent increase in the amount of shampoo the new bottle contains? So, what is the important information we need to highlight here? It contains 12 ounces. Is that the original or is that the new one? That is the original, right? This is the original. And what else is important here? The new bottle contains 15 ounces of shampoo. So if we're going from 12 to 15, of course, this is an increase. So we're looking for the percent of increase. So before we start, let's write our formula, okay? So we have the percent of change. The percent of change is equal to the big minus the little divided by the original. Now, of course, when you do this division, it's going to give you a decimal. And then once you get that decimal, then change to a percent. So here we show our work. We know that we've already decided this is a percent increase. So we're going to write percent increase. And we're going to subtract the big minus the little. So that's going to be 15 minus 12. And then we're going to divide by the original, which is 12. Okay? So now 15 minus 12 is 3. We're going to divide by 12. And of course, this one's an easy one, right? 3/12 is equal to 1/4, right? So this is where the decimal is 0.25. Right? 25 hundredths. So, and of course, if you don't remember, you just divide numerator divided by denominator. That's what you get. Now, we change that to a percent by moving the decimal. Bloop, bloop. And now, this gives us a 25% increase. Everybody good with this one? So let's take a look at example 1b, and then this is the one that you guys are going to work on with your table partners. It says, last month, Ty had 52 comic books. Now he has 61 comic books. What is the percent of increase, rounded to the nearest percent in his comic book collection? All right, take 2 minutes. All right, so here, the original is 52 comic books. The new one is 61 comic books, and so if we're going from 52 to 61, that's a percent increase. Now, also, you guys, please pay attention. Here, this tells you to round to the nearest percent, okay? So here we subtract the big minus the little and divide by the original, which is 52. That gives us a long number in the calculator. And you guys, I usually like to put 4 to 5 numbers behind the decimal, so that when I do here, there's where the new decimal is, and since we're rounding to the nearest percent, we have to look at this number right here, the 3, to tell us what to do to the 7. And that tells us to stay the same. So that's going to be 17%. So this is a 17% increase. So example 2a is also a percent of increase. It says Frankie calculated that she would need 9.5 yards of wallpaper to decorate her room. The wallpaper she chose has a large pattern, which means she would need extra wallpaper to match the pattern. So instead, she needed 13 yards of that paper. What is the percent of increase? And we want to round it to the nearest percent in the amount of wallpaper that she needs. Okay, so what is important? What do we need to highlight here? Right. So she originally said that she needed 9.5 yards of wallpaper. Okay? But then she said that she needed extra so she could get that pattern. So instead she needed 13 yards of that paper. And of course we're looking for the percent of increase. And here's one thing I want you to pay attention to. We want to round to the nearest percent. Is everybody clear? All right. So here we're going to write, this is a percent increase, so we're going to write percent increase. This is the big minus the little, so that was going to be 13 minus 9.5. And we're going to divide by the original. Which one of those is the original? Very good. This is the original. So we're going to divide by 9.5. And now we just do our calculations. So we've got 13 minus 9.5, 3.5. I'm going to write it over here. Divide by the original. So since that's already in the calculator, divide by 3.5, and that's going to give us, okay, so from here, you guys, again, I like to put 4 to 5. So I'm going to do 4 numbers behind the decimal, so 3684. So this is 0.3684. Now, we want to change this to a percent, so we're going to bloop, bloop, right there, and then it says to round to the nearest percent. So this is the nearest percent right here, so what that means, we need to look at this number to tell us what to do to that number. Is everybody clear? So this is going to be what percent? 37%. Right. This is going to be a 37% increase. So, for example, 2B, it says the average price of a movie ticket in 2010 was $7.89. The average ticket price in 2017 was $8.97. What is the percent of increase in the average cost of a movie ticket? And we want to round to the nearest tenth of a percent if necessary. So take 2 minutes and work on this with your table partners. All right, so the original was 2010, that was $7.89, that's the original. And then currently, the new price increase was 2017, which is at $8.97. So that's a percent increase. Now here's important information right here, you guys. It says round to the nearest tenth of a percent if necessary. So we subtract the big minus the little, divided by the original. We get the decimal. And I like to go out 4 numbers behind the decimal. So then I change the decimal to a percent. And then rounding to the nearest tenth, that's this one, we look at the 8 to tell us what to do. And that gives us, a 13.7% increase. All right, so this one is a percent decrease. When resting, a spring measures 73 3/10 millimeters. When the spring is compressed, it measures 52 29/100 millimeters. Find the percent of decrease in the length of the spring. Round to the nearest percent if necessary. So what is the important information here? Yes.
73 minus 73.3 millimeters.
Yeah. So this is 73.3 millimeters. That's when it's resting, right? Is that the original? Yeah, that's the original. So we're going to write, I'm just going to put this, I like to write it as a reminder. Original. What is spell original? All right, so then when it's compressed, it measures 51 and 29 hundredths millimeters. Okay? So we want to find the percent decrease, and we want to round to the nearest percent if necessary. So this is a percent decrease, and we're going to write decrease there. We're going to do big minus little. So this is 51 point, oh no. This is 73.3, right? 73.3 minus little, 51.29, divided by the original, which is 73.3. Now, it goes from this big number to this small number, so we know it's a decrease, right? Even though they told us. So, now we subtract. So we have 73.3 minus 51.29, and that's going to give us 22 and 100. So 22.01 divided by 73.3, that's going to give us a decimal. So divide by 73.3. Okay. So I'm gonna put 4 numbers behind the decimal. That's where I'm gonna write 0.3002. So this is gonna be 0.3002. And now we change this to a percent. So we're going to bloop bloop right there. We're rounding to the nearest percent. So this is the nearest percent here. So that means we need to take a look at the next one to tell us what to do. And of course that tells us to stay the same. So this is going to be a 30% decrease. Is everybody clear? All right. So you guys are going to work on this one with your table partners. So this says Yusuf bought a DVD for $25. Now it is on sale for $10.50. We want to know what is the percent of decrease in the price, and we want to round to the nearest tenth if necessary. All right, so the Yusuf bought it for $25. Okay, so that is the original. On sale, it's on sale for $10.50. We want to know what is the percent decrease, and we want to round to nearest tenth. So percent decrease, big minus little, so that's 25 minus $10.50, divided by the original, which is $25. So we have 14.5 divided by 25, that gives us 0.58. Then we change it to a percent, that gives us 58% decrease.